Hi everyone, this is a pick a card reading for how do they feel about you. So we've got here three wonderful groups. I know this looks really busy and I really tried to work on it. It's just the way it is, but it will look better once we actually get into the readings itself. So we've got group one here with this beautiful light blue crystal. We got group two, and it also comes with these words here. Group two with this beautiful green crystal, which comes with these words right here. And then group three with this lovely medium blue. Oh, just look at that crystal. And it comes with these words round the back here. So that is essentially what we've got. This reading is for how they feel about you, and also the timestamps are in the description box below. Other thing I wanted to mention is this right here. So I got these little candles actually from the range in the UK, and they just fit so perfectly, and also they're LED candles. They fit so perfectly on this board, which is on sale on my Etsy store. So if anyone wants to purchase this, feel free to check out my Etsy store. It's also got the moon phases on here as well. It's just so beautiful. It's great for decoration, for actual use, especially if some of you maybe have, like a little space where you practice your practices, spiritual practices, or if you just sort of love the look of these little things. It's actually very lightweight as well. So yeah, if anyone is interested, check it out. It's also wooden, and yeah, I thought I would show it for decorative purposes here as well. I am going to move it a little bit more to the side, but it is very beautiful indeed. So we are going to get started. Also, if you'd like to win a free reading with me, check out the description box below, since I do a giveaway every single month. If you would like to purchase a private paid reading, all the information for that is also in the description box below as well. They're done within 24 to 48 hours, and like I mentioned, all of my handmade items and just items in general are on Etsy. So there's beaded bracelets, there's face masks, there's crystals, there's necklaces, there's embroidered cards, which are hand embroidered by me, which you can put under your pillow, in your wallet, or your purse, that work different intentions. So definitely do check those out as well. It will definitely give you, if you check it out, it'll give you an idea as to what's on there. And also do check out the review section, international shipping, etc. So it is really quite exciting. So we're going to get started. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a little bit of rearranging, and then you can go to the timestamps. That will just give you a very good clear indication of where we are at. So I'm just going to move group 3 to the side. So let me just do my little rearranging. Move group 2 to the side. Let's move this board to the side. Alright, group number 1. This is your reading for how do they feel about you. So we've got your words here, and also you've got a couple of words here as well. So we're going to go through these as well as we get through the reading. So these words could definitely mean something quite strong in regards to your situation. All right, so let's have a look and see how do they feel about you. You've chosen this beautiful blue crystal. I'm going to put it right there, and let's get started. All right, so for pile 1, you've got here retreat, and you've also got, if I just do this, you can see things a little bit better. Got relationship, and the top card here is essentially the 8 of Cups. That's interesting because you got the retreat card. So what I see here is that there's space, or there's distance, or there's a gap. And the other thing that I really pick up actually is a lot of like necessary space that is needed. So for example, just having a bit of a break, and that's an energy that I really pick up. Like things may be very quiet between the two of you or very hot and cold, and it just seems like maybe the other person needs space or you need space. And so that retreating energy, especially with the Eight of Cups, is very, very strong, because the Eight of Cups is about retreating. It is about taking care of oneself. It is also about potentially someone maybe, like thinking about sort of creating even more space by doing that. So, and to me, how do they feel about you? Well, when they think about you, I feel like they get very intense in their emotions, and then that really triggers them to want some form of space, want some form of time, and it just makes them very, very overwhelmed. Like, oh my God, I need to like get myself together first before I can like fully throw myself into this. So to me, there is a relationship that they are thinking about here, right? They think about how things could be, but it also overwhelms them at the same time. So then they basically think that you're holding a mirror to them and that they are seeing all of their flaws sometimes, and they feel like, oh my God, I have to work through all of these things. Maybe it's just easier if I just like step aside, So that's what's definitely coming through here. So how do they feel about you? They do feel overwhelmed, and they do feel very intense, like intensely under pressure. They feel like you are sometimes like maybe pressuring them. It could also be spiritual pressure as well. Like you don't necessarily have to see it and feel it to feel it, Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. And we've also got here the words realize, and you've also got following. Okay, so they could be following you on social media, but the realize here is really them coming to terms with the fact that things are very intense, they are very overwhelming, like it is a lot to deal with, and it is a lot for them to sort of process and also digest. For younger souls, of which I feel like this person is, okay, this person is much more of a younger soul, which means that they don't have as many incarnations, right? They don't have as many past lives, and they haven't got as much worldly experience as you have had over the course of your lives. So when that happens, you can digest your emotions 10 times better. You know how to process them, you know how to not suppress them, you know how to not necessarily run away from them all the time. You tend to learn much quicker, and I feel like they don't tend to do that as well because they could be a younger soul. Like, I'm not making excuses for this person, but they are a younger soul, and that's why I feel like this is happening. So they really thrive in space. It could also be that maybe this person has a bit more of like an avoidant attachment style, and what I mean by that is that they deal better when things are just, not as intense, not as pressurizing, and also they kind of just like to do things on their own will, So how do they feel about you? Well, I feel like I'm describing them a lot in general, but in general, it's hard because this is a how do they feel about you reading, and all that keeps coming up is just the fact that they are so like overwhelmed. They feel very overwhelmed. They feel like you are a really great person. You'd make an incredible partner, and yes, there is a bit of a but. The but seems to me that they are not 100% ready at this time. However, they're also not 100% ready to let go. It's a retreat. It is not a separation. Okay, it's a retreat. And also for those of you that are maybe crushing on this person, again, it's not a complete no, but also at this very point in time, I wouldn't say it's a complete yes either. It's really in between because they need to get themselves together. We'll see what's coming through with the rest of the tarot cards as well. You've got here able as well. Okay, so they're really thinking about what they're able to do. They're having these realizations. We've also got doctor here as well. So they could be dealing with some mental health issues, emotional health issues. I think we're really leaning towards emotions more so in this particular reading, especially with all of this blue that we've got as well. Like that water energy is very strong. You've got a dolphin. You've got these potions and elixirs, as it says there. Then we have got, so actually on here as well, this particular deck was given to me by a really lovely subscriber. The cards are actually in another language. I believe they're in Dutch. I could be completely wrong. I believe they're in Dutch, but at least on these potions I can actually read what it says. And I chose to actually learn the meanings of the deck as well in the language, but it was a while ago, but still I can remember what most of these cards are. But on here it says let go potion, it says here despair, So I definitely feel like they're dealing with some kind of mental health, emotional health issue. So letting go, sort of retreating, not trying to force things too much, taking care of themselves. You've got here soul journey. So obviously there is a really strong spiritual connection between the two of you, which I mentioned. You've got here aura cleanse. So again, retreating, taking care of themselves. You've got here the void, right? So they do feel like there is a bit of like a hole within them right now. They feel very empty. And again, that really goes also with the despair energy. Maybe they've gone through some really difficult times in their family or lost someone in their family and it's just created a lot of grief. It could also be that they just feel like they've lost a part of themselves. You've got here wake up potions, so they're really trying to get themselves together, so they are trying to work on themselves. So that's why I also feel like you've got here doctor, because they're really dealing with some difficult issues. Could be also family issues. You've got here mommy and sister, so they could be dealing with some issues there, or just be under the influence of whatever their family is saying, specifically a sister or a mother figure. And you've got here last as well. Okay, so this is not going to sound so great, but it could be that they have a list of priorities and maybe your name is a little bit down the list, and that can make you feel frustrated. But it's that kind of energy, like last but not least, and their really first priority is to try and get themselves together, because how can they love you if they can't love themselves, right? So I definitely feel like they've got a lot of inner work to do, a lot of healing work to do as well, and that's really their big priority at this time. Let's get a couple of tarot cards, and I've got a lot of cards to get through here. I'm actually very excited for these cards. Let's see. So yeah, so Eight of Swords, they feel very trapped within themselves, just very overwhelmed, frustrated, chaotic. Like there's a lot of that energy coming through. So how do they feel about you? Well, basically how they see you is a projection of themselves, right? So if they feel like you are intense, which I mentioned, it's because they are intense within. If they feel like it's just too much, it's because they can't handle that too much energy. What they're doing is projecting, and they are projecting their insecurities upon you. It's not your fault, it's just how they are within. They definitely need to do a lot of healing work to basically untangle themselves and to take off all of those like blindfolds and things that are tying them in this particular place. They feel like you're very balanced, right? You're very balanced. You know how to live in the present and to do things for your future. They feel like you're a really lovely person, but also they keep comparing themselves to you, and that's something I keep seeing, is that they feel like they're not enough, but also they feel like you are too much. Does that make sense? I know this sounds really crazy, but they definitely compare themselves to you, and sometimes they feel really bad when they see that you're doing pretty well, or that you're having a good life. Like they feel bad about themselves a lot of the time, so they can be making themselves a victim. I mean, you've got here the Six of Pentacles as well, so they feel like you're very, very like well off or balanced or just happy, and they feel like they are the ones that are suffering, and so that's pretty much what we've got. But they do feel like you're a really caring, nurturing, kind, giving person, and that you're such a good soul, and that deep down they feel like you deserve a lot better. So very hardworking, as we see here. They definitely feel like you're super, super hardworking. You know how to get things done. You're very kind, considerate, and caring. Let me just center this a little bit. And then the Chariot here is this energy of them wanting to come towards you once they've really got themselves emotionally together. So that's a good message that came through, actually, especially for those of you who are wondering, like, okay, is this person ever going to come towards me? Like, yes, I do feel that would be the case. Do you know what? This is more like a what's going to happen in our connection kind of a reading, rather than how do they feel about you. I don't feel like I can change the title now. It's a bit too late because I kept saying how do they feel about you, but this is what I feel is going to happen. They're going to come towards you somehow once they've really balanced their emotions with that sort of yin and yang energy with the two Sphinx. By the way, yes, the two Sphinx actually in tarot historically do represent like Tao, and Tao also represents yin and yang. Okay, so let's go with some more oracle cards here. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so we've got here. Oh my gosh, these cards are just not wanting to shuffle. I do apologise. So we've got friendship, Okay, so yeah, they're definitely not wanting to let you go, okay, and they feel like you're a great friend and they definitely don't want to let that go at all. So they can still maintain some kind of relationship with you, which can be a friendship for the time being until they get themselves together and then they progress. And then you've also got fun times, so you can expect them to want to spend more time with you and do things with you because they enjoy your company. They know you're a great person, but right now I don't feel like they can handle anything more than that. So that's what's coming through, okay, and then you've got work on your self-esteem. Okay, so how do they feel about you? Well, you know, this is very interesting because I do feel like they're projecting, right? They have a very low self-esteem, and it could, like, you might see them as someone that's super confident, like, you know, showing themselves on social media as like just having this great life. But actually, deep down, that's a way of covering their ego and protecting their ego. And so you may not see the times when they're so down and they're in the despair. You may not see that at all. So they actually have to work on their self-esteem, but instead they could be projecting that energy towards you, where they're thinking you need to work on your self-esteem because you know you're so intense and things like that. And they might be thinking that maybe sometimes you're putting that sort of show on, even though you're not, because that's just how you are. But that's what I see here, is that this person definitely does project, and that sometimes they see you as how they see themselves in their vulnerable state. So that's also something to keep in mind. This person definitely has a lot to sort of work on and get through for sure. I feel like I'm describing them. I feel like I'm describing what's going to happen. I feel like sometimes I'm even describing like you, and it's just so bizarre. Like, this particular reading is so, like, it's a bit further from the question, and I really do genuinely apologize for that. But sometimes when these messages come through, I just kind of have to go with it. And I would definitely say that if you clicked on this reading, it's less how they feel about you and more how they feel about themselves and how they project that back onto you. That's literally what's happening. So it's a complicated situation, but you know, I have to be honest with what I see on the cards, even if sometimes it sort of takes a bit of a detour from the actual question itself. So I really do apologize, but we did get some information on how they feel about you. It's just it goes back to themselves. They are quite sort of in their own self-centered kind of energy, especially with that retreat card. Let's go with some more cards. So let's see. We've got here Master Jesus, which is forgiveness. You are on the path of light and love and forgiveness. Father healing is possible at this time. Father healing. Mother healing. They could have had a really tough upbringing, or just felt very invalidated as a child, which has really affected how they love and how they move forward in relationships. Right, so again, that projection is very much so there. Again, a lot of blue. Actually, both cards here, both a lot of blue. They could have been feeling just very, very blue as they grew up, and that's really affected things. But also, right, blue is very representative of the throat chakra, which shows actually that they like to talk about things rather than being emotional about things. Even though you can talk about things and express emotion at the same time, they sort of run away from their emotions, but they like to talk. Throat chakra is blue, right? So that's interesting. So forgiveness. How do they feel about you? I definitely feel like a lot of the time they would, it may feel like you're always sort of forgiving them for certain things they do, but you may feel like they're not really able to forgive you and they kind of just go off and do their own thing. There is this element of forgiveness, so I do feel like they will come to terms with that kind of hypocritical energy, I want to say. That's something that's coming through here. Like, they definitely need to also forgive themselves as well. That's something that's coming through. They need to forgive themselves, have acceptance, and also perhaps heal some form of a family connection here that's really causing them a lot of grief and upset. So that's interesting. We've also got here Joan of the Arc, voice of truth. Stand strong, focus on your purpose, release the fear of persecution, and speak your truth. So this person definitely feels like you're a very strong person and that you are someone who will always look out and do the best for others. So you'll always speak your truth. You will be the strong one. You will always say what you truly believe in, what you truly feel. You will always try and do the right thing. You're not someone who's just going to say things for the sake of it. You'll always try and do the correct thing, the right thing, and you'll always try and be very bold and powerful, and they really like that, but they also get intimidated by it as well. So they do feel like you're strong, you're bold, you're powerful, they like that, they feel good about it, but also in the wrong moment it just feels too much for them as well. So it's almost like a double-edged sword with this person. Like, it is challenging, I'm not gonna lie. I know this reading is so off-putting, but I know for some of you, you're going to come here and you're going to be like, wow, that, you know, that is exactly my situation. So I hope that it gives you information more than anything. Okay, so got some more card messages. By the way, these ones are different. I just thought I would mention that as well because they kind of all look the same. It says here, I'm coming back. Okay, so after their retreat, I already mentioned this, right, with the Chariot, is that they will be back. They will be back. They will be talking about things. Also, you know, friendship energy here as well. They will be coming back. That's not to say that things can't escalate more than friendship. It's just like right now, I think it's more platonic because they have to get themselves together. Eventually then, it will pick up, I think, be more romantic because you've got nurturing energy here with the Chariot. So I'm coming back, and then you've also got, I've been confiding about this connection, which means they've been talking to friends or family members, maybe even a mother or a sister here, in regards to this connection with you. Or they have been confiding with someone, could be their own brain, in regards to confiding themselves, in regards to this connection as well, and trying to make sense of it. So it's what we've got there, and your last card here with the deck that everybody loves. The Romance Angel Oracle cards. We've got here passion, so allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. So definitely they do feel passion towards you, but also they're not allowing necessarily their heart and soul to sing with joy. So do you see the difference? Like, it's almost like they feel that, but also they hold back on it. There's a lot of holding back on emotions. There's a lot of holding back on just coming forward completely, because this is saying like allow that to happen, and they're obviously not really allowing it to happen because it's saying here to allow it, right? So how do they feel about you? They also feel like you're super passionate, you stand up for yourself, you know yourself. Even if you feel very like not very confident within yourself, they see you very differently, and that actually intimidates them, I think, at times as well. Do not dull your shine. Do not feel like you have to be less than who you are in order to impress this person. Absolutely not. Like, you definitely don't need to do that. Not necessary. You know, you just have to be yourself, do you, look after yourself, put yourself in the place that you know you need to be in. That's what's going to give you that confidence, that's what's going to boost your energy, it's what's going to give you happiness. So do you, be you, and focus on you, and just know that I think they're going to come back around, you know, in a much stronger way. And they're going to realize a lot of those qualities that you have is not anything that you put for show. It's literally who you are, and the fact that they have to work really hard on themselves to sort of get themselves together in a stronger place. So that is your reading. All right, group number 1. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Check out the description box below for information on private paid readings, free reading giveaway, and of course intention items, which are on Etsy. And do take care. All right, so I am just going to move these to the side. Oh, sorry, they're really loud. And let's put these back into the correct piles. Alright, so what I'm going to do, if you want to go to group number 2, click on the timestamp below. It's just that I've got my little tea here and it's so cold, so I felt like I needed a bit of a tea break, so I'm going to do a little tea break in this reading. We can talk about a few things for a couple of minutes whilst I just get through my tea, and then we'll get straight into the reading. But definitely click on the timestamps down below if you'd like to just get on straight away with the reading and not waste any of your precious time listening to me drink tea. So I'm going to mention where these cubes are from because everybody's asking me, and we want to talk about some of the other things as well. I know some of you always ask me like what tea I'm drinking. This one is like lemongrass and something. It's the puka or puka teas. So that's pretty much what it is. Doesn't look like green or anything, or yellow like, you know, lemongrass. I don't know, is lemongrass? I don't know. I need to do more research, to be honest. Just looks like normal tea. So those cubes that everyone is sort of asking me about a lot in the comment section below, if you type into Google haiku cubes, you'll find them. Haikubes, I think is what they're called, like HAIKUBES. Or if you just type in haiku, as in like haiku and then cubes, it will come up anyways. There's loads of websites that actually sell them. I got them from Waterstones in the UK, which is a big bookshop. They had like one pack. I literally just went there for tarot cards, and they had them, and I was like, oh, they're good for readings, aren't they? So it sometimes, you know, I mean, they kind of look like divination dice, but they're not, you know, they're not called divination dice. So sometimes, you know, those items that we think are just for some other purpose can totally be used in readings as well. That's a really special thing as well. And so I just cleanse them, sage them, and they're good to go. And they've been really accurate with delivering good messages as well. And you can actually make haikus also if you wanted to, which is great, isn't it? So yeah, those are a little great find. New favorite also, LED candles. I actually do love like regular candles, and I do burn them from time to time. It's just that for readings and things like that, because I have so many decorations on my table, I can't really afford to like put them there, and then, you know, I really don't want things to catch fire, because once things almost did happen. So it was a very like close almost, but yeah, I just, you know, need to make sure that things are a little bit safe, especially when I'm looking more so at the camera and more so at the cards. I don't really, you know, pay attention to what's going on with the candles. So because, you know, there's quite a few. So I got these LED ones, which are really great. You just put a battery in them. Those ones are battery operated, so they come with a remote control. These, by the way, I got on the range. Ta-da! So simple, so easy, so wonderful. So I'm actually going to keep that on. But it's really great because it looks great aesthetically, and also it's just not a risk at all, especially for those of you that maybe have children, or, you know, you just want to have that aesthetic looking candle. It makes you feel relaxed as well, because I feel like it does actually do something. It gives a nice like relaxing vibe. Really great to have. Let's move this crystal out of the way since we've done that reading. Oh, and also quite a few people ask about the palm, like the hand. I got this from the Zen shop. I believe it was the Zen shop online, and it also comes with like a little booklet as well, which I have on the side, all about palmistry and palm reading. I actually have some palm reading cards. I also did a lot of palm reading research when I was back in high school anyways, so I don't really use the booklet or anything like that. I use this for decorative purposes. I really love palm readings. I do feel that palm readings are quite accurate. I think maybe I should do palm readings, shouldn't I? I do have knowledge in this particular area, especially, you know, in regards to like the length of fingers as well. For example, if you have very like long fingers, like I do, I have like super long fingers, that also shows creativity as well. So that's right, that is correct. You know why? Because I studied fashion, and I love creative stuff. You know, even just decorating for readings and stuff is quite creative. So anyways, maybe you learned something new. You know, someone has long fingers, chances of them being quite creative is very high. But yeah, anyways, there's a lot of you know, it goes very in depth also with planets, and the way the lines are, and if they have a fork on the end, or if they're chained, etc. You know, there's quite a lot. Maybe I should offer palm readings. Let me know if you're interested. Palm readings would definitely not be as expensive as the normal tarot readings, but maybe I could do that. Okay, all right, I think we're getting somewhere here. Ah, okay. You know, sometimes these things just come in my mind. Yes, so that's from the Zen shop. Really lovely. Also, on the back as well, this is really heavy as well. It's like really good quality. You can like hook it on the wall as well, which is obviously really great, especially if you love decorating your wall and you want to like hang things rather than just have them for show. I'm almost done with my tea, I promise. Okay, so I don't really do my tea breaks very often in readings, but sometimes I just kind of need them because sometimes my throat is just not doing very well. So today was one of those days, and today was the day where I'm doing a pick a card reading at the same time, so I just needed something. Okay, so let's pop these right here. Oh, they're upside down. All right. This looks so not straight, is it? There we go. All right, so group number 2, this is your reading for how do they feel about you. So you've got here these words right here. All right, and we've got some on the sides as well. You've also chosen this beautiful green crystal pile. So let's have a look and see how they feel about you. I'm going to get lots of other cards out as well. So let's begin. So you've got here golden memory. Oh my God. I did not plan this whatsoever, but look at that, you got places, right? So places. So how do they feel about you? I mean, definitely very nostalgic, like memories coming to the surface, thinking about the things that the two of you did, or maybe a glance that you both shared with one another. Like that's a really strong energy and message I pick up, you know, like even just a smile that the two of you like shared to one another. These kinds of things are really in their mind, they're thinking about these things, and it just makes them feel very nostalgic, it makes them feel good, it makes them feel really warm and fuzzy inside. Okay, for those of you that maybe have spent a lot more time together, you've gone to places, you've done things together, they definitely think about those places, or every time they visit that place, they definitely do feel like this warm energy and they do think about you. So it's almost like their heart opens up, and look at that, right? Heart. There we go, we got heart, and we've also got here bottle as well. Now what's really interesting is that, you know, bottle is essentially like that can also be very much so that maybe for a long period of time they sort of bottled up their emotions, you know, but here heart is very prominent. And also you've got the green, which also represents the heart chakra. The other thing as well that I'm seeing here is sort of like this, I mean, I kind of saw this as like a forest. I know it's not really, but I kind of saw a forest, and we know that green also represents like forest and green, nature, you know what I mean? So it could be that when they're sort of in nature and they're just feeling very peaceful and very quiet and in their own energy, they think a lot about you and they just think about the love that they have for you, because I feel like this person really loves you. They love you, they care for you, they think about all the memories that the two of you spent together. It makes them feel warm and fuzzy. The places, you know, still mean something. Like certain smells as well really get to them. Like their senses are very, very heightened when they think about you, and that really triggers them as well. You've got here inner child, and you've also got here the 8 of Pentacles. Okay, so that's what we've got there as well. So yeah, it's not that they're selfish. I mean, on top of that as well, you've got here our, right? Our, not me, not my, not I, it's our. So for sure, they think about the two of you as sort of like a unit. They think about what things could be like, how they could take things further, you know, how it could be like to go to these places again, or maybe even build more golden memories, to do fun things, because inner child is like doing fun things, you know, being playful, going to fun places, or just spending like good quality time watching fun things or doing fun things. And you've got here like many as well, so they think about many things in regards to you, and they feel like you've got so many qualities as well. Like you're a good person, you're playful, you're hardworking, especially with the 8 of Pentacles. That to them is just really something very important, because they just really feel that anyone that's ambitious, aka you, is just very special. So they feel like you are special. They feel like you are kind. They feel like you are so caring, so nurturing, and just incredible. Okay, just really, really lovely. And the other thing we have here is moonlight. That's me. My real name actually means moonlight. Just a little quick fact in there. But moonlight here is all about like shining a light onto things, that they didn't see before. So maybe before they sort of bottled up their feelings and their emotions, or they didn't really want to acknowledge certain parts of yourself, or didn't really care so much about certain aspects. I know that sounds awful, but that was all hidden, right? And we know that the moon is about secrets and illusions, but when there's moonlight, it shines a light on those secrets and those illusions or things that they were running away from. So things have come to light, okay? Things have definitely come to light. Their heart chakra, look at that as well, right here. Heart chakra is very, very activated, and they feel that love towards you. And that's something very strong on the cards for sure. So let's go to tarot and see what tarot is showing you, because this person loves you, definitely, and they're thinking about all these memories. So Four of Cups, if this person had at any point rejected you, oh my god, do they feel bad about that, okay? They feel bad about how they may have treated you, rejected you, unnecessarily, maybe at 1 point or 2 points made you suffer. Even if it was something really small or something big, they feel really, really bad about those aspects. So that's coming through so strong. Or maybe that they didn't come to you when they should have come to you. Again, you've got another green there as well, right? You've got a tree and you've got this sort of hill as well. So I'm just saying, there's something about green. You've got the Nine of Swords here as well. Yeah, I definitely feel like they feel bad for like sometimes maybe not giving back to you how you have given to them, or just not being maybe as open as you have been to them. Like they definitely do feel like they have sort of like suffered over something. They feel bad, basically. They feel guilt, shame, regret about something for sure. Okay, so we've got here freedom. They feel like you're just flying, you're doing your own thing, and they feel like they're sort of stuck, which I think is interesting because they feel like you are just very, very, like you just know yourself. You know how to get to the places that you need to get to. You know how to be free. You know how to fly. You know how to be the best version of yourself. And they just feel like they don't know what they're doing sometimes. And that's coming through very strong here. So freedom here is just this sense of like, whenever they think about you, they think good, really good things. And then they feel bad about how they've treated you, essentially, because they just feel like you're a very freeing person. You're not someone that like chains them and straps them and ties them down in a bad way, right? Because we were going to go in a completely different direction there, but more so like you don't, chain them in a bad way and make them feel bad. Okay, so let's see what these messages here have. So got someone has a crush on you, aka this person has a crush on you. We already kind of know that, right? They feel very warm and very fuzzy when it comes to you. They feel very good about you as well, and they think you're such a great person. Then we've got here, oh my god, that really scared me. Where did that come from? Oh my god, sorry. Look, okay. You can't make this up, because as soon as this card came out, there was a tiny little feather. I don't think you guys will ever even be able to like pick it up on camera. It's like on the end of my nail. Like, don't know if you can see that, like right there. I have a parrot, an African grey, and he doesn't ever come into this room ever, but his feathers tend to get everywhere from time to time. Not always, but sometimes like his tiny little feathers will just like fall. Like it was just falling, and I was like, huh? He's not even here. Anyways, so the point of this is that you've got here horse, and look, bird energy, right? Feathers. Now, for some of you, you might be seeing white feathers, which is exactly the kind of feather that my parrot has. He's an African grey, but he does also have white feathers. And I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying, if you see feathers, it's also a sign of protection. And I feel like this person feels that you are such a protective, kind, caring soul. So you are protective, you're caring, you're nurturing, and they just feel like you are that kind of person. You're that kind of person that will be there for others, and you always try and do the right thing. So that's so interesting. That kind of scared me in a way, because this card came out and all of a sudden I just saw that tiny little feather and I was like, whoa. So we've got here Cosmic Gateway. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are occurring. So this person feels like you're very, very lucky, like a lucky charm almost, you know, that if they surround themselves with you, good things could happen. And they also feel as well that your thoughts are very magnetic, you're powerful, the way you conduct yourself, the way you do things, you have the ability to really fly and to use all of your power to your advantage, to get like the best out of your own personal situations, but also to help others as well. It's a really powerful magnetic vibe and energy. See what we have with this deck right here. It is a different deck to this one. I just thought I'd show you. And you've got here, got two, so let's see. You've got I'm upset with myself, which is very obvious, as we kind of picked up on, especially with these two cards. Like, they're definitely feeling guilt, shame and regret on how they've treated you, and they're definitely upset with themselves. Okay, I'm upset with myself. And then it says here, I hope you don't hate me. So they are definitely hoping that you don't have any bad feelings, resentment towards them, because they really don't want you to hate them. Obviously, we picked that up, right? So they really feel bad, but they also feel like, oh my God, I'll feel even worse if you do hate me. So that's what we've got there. And then your last card, which will go with the Romance Angel Oracle cards. Honeymoon. Sorry, that card just flipped over and sort of ended up like right on the top of my pile. So honeymoon, enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. So I definitely feel like this person wants to spend time with you because they've been thinking about these like golden memories and places and things like that. Maybe even like places they've been to in the past. Could be also places without you, but they're like, oh, I really want to take you with me to this particular place. So that's really interesting here. Like, they want to go somewhere with you and spend some really quality, like, nice time together. If you notice on this gondola, right, this could also be Venice. Like, I'm just saying, because you have got this beautiful picturesque scene of Venice. By the way, if you get asked to go to Venice, beautiful place. Totally recommend it. I've been myself. But obviously, you know, you've got the pandemic and there's a lot going on, but you never know, because this is a timeless reading and it can be very much so for the future. But what I'm trying to point out more so is the fact that you've got these angel wings here, right? These white angel wings. And I just keep seeing white feathers. You may also be seeing a lot of white feathers. So keep an eye out. Okay, that also, if you see a white feather, it could also mean that this person is thinking about you in a very like protective way, and they could also feel very protective of you as well at the same time. So that's something that I'm also picking up super, super strongly in your reading. Okay, so group number 2, this is your reading. How do they feel about you? So let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Check out the description box below for information on private paid readings. What else can I mention as well? Oh yes, there's also my Etsy store and loads of other items on there as well. And don't forget to, the main thing is, you know, don't forget to click on the little bell notification next to the subscribe button as well. It will notify you every time I post a video on the subscription page on your YouTube channel. So do check that out for sure as well. Alright, so I'm just going to clear up these cards and then we'll get to the next reading, which is group number 3, last but never least, of course. Of course, of course. Da 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 da. Oh my gosh, it's so cold in my room right now. I have the heater on, but it doesn't seem to be doing much. Okay, let's just get these. Da, 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 da. right, group number 3. Hello, how are you? So this is going to be how do they feel about you. We're going to have a look with tons of tarot cards and oracle cards as well that will come into the mix, so we will see. All right, so you've chosen this beautiful blue crystal. I'm just going to put it right here, and we'll go through these words as well as I go through these cards as well. So you've got here dreams and spiritual growth, and your tarot card is the Four of Swords. Okay, interesting, right? Such an interesting reading. So how do they feel? I feel like their feelings towards you are most active when they are resting or when they are sort of by themselves. They're doing their own thing, because the Four of Swords here shows rest, and it also shows a lot of thoughts, like their thoughts start to bloom a lot more when they're by themselves or they're not so distracted. Resting, meditating, retreating, napping, that kind of vibe. Because some of them could be, people who love to meditate, and some of them obviously are maybe not as spiritual and things like that. I am obviously doing a general reading, so it's pretty open in that sense because there's going to be a lot of different people watching this. But the general message is the same. The general message here is that regardless of who you're dealing with, when they are really by themselves, that is when they think about you the most. That's when their thoughts start to wander. That's when they start to think about you. And also when they're sleeping as well, they tend to dream about you as well. And that really makes them feel quite curious in regards to you and the kind of person that you are, how you do things, how you conduct yourself, and essentially what you do and say, right? So the dreams message here is quite significant. It's also quite strong because I definitely feel like they dream about you, and they definitely do feel very, very strongly towards you. If the two of you are in a place of like no contact, they definitely are very, very heightened in that sense to want to do something about it. I see here the throat chakra being activated as well. The throat chakra is about communication essentially, and it's also about them wanting to communicate with you and tell you some form of truth as well. I feel like they've grown a lot, which also makes their feelings towards you grow even more. Maybe in the past they've been sort of brushing the connection away, or maybe not doing as much, but now with a lot of this sort of spiritual growth they've gone through, they have understand so much more of how you do things, why you said certain things that you said. Like, they're just so much more understanding, and they've been able to digest and process that information so much more strongly. And so you've got the blue crystal there as well. That's also the strength of the throat chakra as well, of course, because it's blue. And you've also got the very, very strong die, which, well, die is one, dice is many, but this die here, of course, says cause. So I definitely feel like they have really strong feelings towards you, to the point where they really want to call you and message you, talk to you, and just communicate so much more with you and just be on the same page as you. So how do they feel about you? Well, they feel obviously very, very strongly about you because they want to do more. They want to be more productive, more proactive in regards to the connection, talk to you more, communicate with you more. And then this message here says biting. So they could be sort of they could have been biting their tongue before, and now they just want to be much more open with you. They could have been just biting themselves, or how people say oh, that person's really kicking themselves now because they feel like they made a mistake. So it could also be that they're sort of biting themselves and I shouldn't have did things the way I did things, because again, they've gone through a lot of growth. And they also do feel like you are already very grown, you already know yourself, and that's something they are also feeling very regretful about, is some of the things that they may have said or done, because they realize that they were the more immature one, and they were the one that needed to have just gone through more of that growth, because they definitely feel like you are already very, very grown, you already know yourself, you're so much more mature, so much more self-aware. That's how they feel about you. And they also feel like you have so much more integrity and understanding in general. So my gosh, they've really gone through a lot of growth, and they've gone through a lot of understanding. And so when they're by themselves, they definitely don't suppress their emotions. They're totally okay with their mind wandering towards you as well. So yeah, that's what we've got there. You've also got here finally as well. It's like finally they have this realization, this epiphany, this understanding towards you that you know what, you are special towards them, and you are just someone that they do really care about and they do love. But it's just that they have gone through, you know, this kind of cycle of just being in their own energy, and sometimes just doing things the way that they've wanted to do things, maybe sometimes not even taking like what you want in consideration. Does that make sense? So finally, an epiphany, finally some understanding towards you as well. I do feel that this person does love you. I do feel that this person does care about you. And I definitely feel like they feel I feel like they feel that you are very, very special. So that's also coming through. There's definitely a very strong understanding that has happened recently for sure. You've also got here as well desperate. So I feel like they're desperate to tell you something. They're definitely very desperate to just have that communication, you know, and say like, okay, this is what I've been feeling, this is what I've been thinking, this is where I'm at right now. You've also got here water as well, and we know that blue also represents water. This is about going with the flow, it's about not forcing things, and I feel like they've been just sort of going with the flow, doing their own thing, resting, retreating, relaxing, doing things the way they've wanted to do things, and that really has triggered them to come to more terms with themselves. Because I know that, you know, obviously with people when they're trying to understand things, you can't really force them to understand things. Sometimes they have to understand things really on their own, and they have to come to those terms by themselves. And that's exactly what's happened here, is that they've really come to terms with this connection and how they feel about you on their own accord, like by themselves. So that's what I see there with water. It's just about the flow as well. There could be something to do with the two of you and water, maybe like water activities or something that the two of you did with water, but maybe that's what they're also thinking about as well. But they definitely feel very emotional, is what I would say with the water die right there. They feel very, very emotional towards you, and they just feel like, oh, if I could go back and do things a little bit differently, I would. Because you've also got here waste as well. So they feel like they wasted some of their energy in the wrong way. You know, they did things in the wrong way. They feel bad about that, and they feel like, oh, if I could just go back and not have wasted that time doing the wrong thing, I would. So you got travel as well, all right? So they feel like you are very you just know what you're doing. You know, you're on a journey, you've done your growth, you know who you are. They really respect you in many, many ways. And travel also can be that they want to like take a trip with you or do something really fun with you or progress things with you, you know, in some way, like shape or form. But they definitely do want to do that, because I see that with travel. And then you've also got here salty as well. And like salty can also represent the fact that they may have cried a lot of tears, because we know that tears can be salty. So they may have cried a lot over you and just had a lot of feelings and thoughts in regards to you, of like maybe wanting to have done things a lot better or differently. And then you've also got here sour as well. So they could just feel really, really bitter sometimes about the fact that they just were not able to see clearly. They may also feel bitter sometimes at the fact that, or sour sometimes, that the fact that maybe in the past they were really comparing themselves to you as well. But how they feel about you right now is that they feel salty and sour towards themselves, believe it or not, because they've gone through that spiritual growth. I think a lot of them have realized, especially this person for you, has realized just how wrong they were. And that is a very painful realization for people to realize, you know, because it really breaks down the ego sometimes. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm wrong. You know, I can't believe I'm wrong. It's so hard for people to accept, and it's hard for them to accept, but they are there, you know, they're having that acceptance. Let's see what tarot is bringing us. Okay, I'm going to go with a couple of cards here. Let's take these three. Oh, did you guys see my hand shake? I'm like this. It's so cold here. Oh my gosh, I turned my heater on. It's still very, very cold. Okay, so we've got here the Page of Swords, Ace of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune. See, so they feel like you are just so loving, so kind, but also the Ace of Cups here shows their sort of like emotions towards you as well. So definitely they do want to emotionally open up to you. I do feel like they love you here, especially with that Ace of Cups. They feel like you're very, very lucky with the Wheel of Fortune, and they feel like their life is just going to be better with you in it rather than not in it at all. So this can also represent communication for those of you that are blocked or perhaps in no contact, or they disappeared or something. I feel like there's a reappearance for those of you that are already in this person's life. This is about them strengthening their communication line with you. Let's see what this card has. Sorry, this deck has. Okay, so this is, a lot of people ask actually what this deck is. It's Amira's Love Oracle is what it's called. Oh, come on, cards. Okay. Oh my gosh. Why is nothing coming up here? Okay, let's take the one at the bottom of the deck because in all honesty, nothing's coming out. Oh, true love. Okay, all right, well, there it is, right? So, true love is the fact that they really do love you. As I mentioned, right? I mentioned that they really do love you. They have a lot of true love towards you. They feel a lot of love towards you. They feel like you're such a great person. So it's true love. I don't know what more to say about that except for, guys, it's true love. Okay, we've got here connect with spirit guides. All right, so that's really interesting here. They feel like you may also be quite spiritual as well, but also that they have grown a lot spiritually for sure. Okay, that has really affected things in a good way, in a very positive way. You've got spiritual growth and also connect with spirit guides. It could also be that maybe they've had like some kind of spiritual awakening through a dream that's made them just see life very, very differently, and in such a like strong way. Oh, look, transcendence, Lord Shiva. So transcendence, rise up, honor your inner force. Steps are being given, dance with the universe. So this person, okay, whoever this person is that you're thinking about is definitely feeling like they have grown so much, they understand themselves so much, and now they are understanding you so much as well, and they're understanding your value in your life. Sorry, your value in their life. That's what I'm seeing here. So, yeah, I mean, they're really, you know, rising up to not just honor their inner force, but also to honor your inner force as well. So it's very like mutual. It's very balanced as well. Again, a very spiritual energy. You've got a lot of prayer beads. You know, you've got the third eye activated as well. You've got the moon that symbolizes intuition. The snake also in Vedic astrology is very, very lucky, and it's a big thing, right? It's a huge thing. Also, you've got the snake also in the Wheel of Fortune card as well, right there. So yeah, there's definitely a sense of like luck and sort of like them shedding their old skin and their old self and just really understanding themselves more, and that also then in turn makes them understand you even more. And so yeah, they're like really transcending, and they're thinking that, you know, you are so incredible. You know yourself, you know your path, you know which direction you want to go in. That to them just makes them feel like, wow, you're such a like, you know, a superman or a superwoman, whether you're male or female, and they just feel like they can't not have you in their life, you know, because that could be so life-changing. It's like when you're really just attracted to someone so much that you think, wow, I need this person in my life, because it's not just for themselves, but because they feel like you'd make such a great, you know, duo as well. So it says here, I need money, which is very interesting, okay? It could be also that they're sort of trying to work on their financial aspect as well, because you have got Wheel of Fortune, which shows Jupiter energy. It also does show that maybe they just feel like you're in a really good place in your life, but also how do they feel about you? I mean, they may want to borrow some money from you, or they may want to sort of like collaborate with you or do something with you here, because they might be short of money in some way, shape or form. But also, I don't feel like they're using you, okay, because we have got the True Love card, but the Wheel of Fortune here does show luck, which shows that they do feel like with you around in their life, that maybe that could also improve other aspects of their life. That happens sometimes with couples, that when they get together, their luck does change, because stars can influence other people's stars, and remember that your birth chart can be very powerful as well. So we've got getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens, which of course they really do want to do. They want to progress things here with you as well. So again, it's not that they are just focused on like wanting money or anything, but they do feel like maybe their luck and their life could change, because they feel like you're a lucky charm. And it also says here, free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. So they really do want to take back control. They want to put themselves first. They want to get their life together. They want to feel strong, confident, bold. They just want everything to sort of come together in that sense. And they feel like in many ways you're the missing piece of the puzzle. So that's something that I'm really picking up very, very strongly, is that they feel like you're the missing piece of the puzzle, and that you could really offer something so beautiful and so strong, but also that they really do love you. They do care about you, and they do have some very, very intense feelings towards you as well, and it's not in a way where they're using you in any way, shape or form, I feel. But yeah, it could be that they're just sort of also right now focusing a lot on their finances. Maybe that's why also they're a little bit more cold towards you, because they may be focusing a little bit more in that aspect and trying to get that a little bit more resolved. So group number 3, this is your reading as to how they feel about you. So yeah, let me know in the comment section below how this resonates, and definitely don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Do check out the description box below for information on the private paid readings, free reading giveaway, and of course intention items on Etsy. If you do subscribe, make sure you click on the little bell notification next to the subscribe button, because that will allow you to get a notification every time I post a new video. So you'll see my video on your subscription list on your homepage. And yeah, so that is pretty much that. So I hope that you all take care. I hope that you all stay safe. I hope this reading really helped you. And as always, everybody, I'm sending so much love and light, and definitely do all take care of yourselves as well. Bye everyone.